After the Paris Peace Accords were signed and took effect in 1973, Richard Nixon personally welcomed returning American prisoners of war, including Lieutenant Commander John McCain. McCain returned after more than 5 years imprisoned at Hoa Lo Prison, suffering severe injuries to his arms and legs that left him walking with crutches. The mighty Rolls-Royce / Snecma Olympus 593 engine. Concorde used 4 of these monsters, 2 under each wing. Each produced 38,000 pounds of thrust with reheat, giving Concorde a total of 152,000 pounds of thrust, more than twice the power of the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird. A man stands before a richly decorated teepee, wearing elaborate traditional indigenous clothing of the Siksika Nation, one of the earliest tribes to settle in Western Canada and Alberta, 1910. Photograph by renowned photographer Harry Pollard. Jimmy Nicol, the temporary replacement for Ringo Starr, appears visibly subdued at Essendon Airport in Melbourne on June 15, 1964, shortly after Starr rejoined the Beatles. Louis Hine, known for documenting child labor and social conditions, photographed Jean Septvents, a 10-year-old French girl whose father had been a German prisoner of war and was killed in action after nearly a year of captivity. Yonge Dundas Square in Toronto in the early 1960s, before the construction of the CF Toronto Eaton Centre, was a busy hub of commerce and entertainment. The Coles bookstore once stood on this corner for many years, and the former Brown Derby Tavern has since been replaced by a Shake Shack location. Anna Coleman Ladd was an American sculptor who created thin copper prosthetic masks to conceal facial injuries suffered by soldiers. In 1917, she established a studio in Paris dedicated to producing these restorative masks for wounded World War I veterans. A scene from the 1988 bicentenary celebrations of Australia Day at Sydney Harbour, where huge crowds gathered to celebrate and protest. The event drew an estimated 2.5 million people. The Bathysphere, one of the earliest deep-sea diving vessels in the world, circa 1930, is shown with American naturalist William Beebe looking out from its observation window. Beebe used the device to study deep-sea marine life directly in its natural environment. Indigenous children are praying to God in dormitory rooms with the aim of forcibly assimilating Indigenous children, forbidding them from using their mother tongue and practicing their culture. These schools are the scene of numerous cases of physical, mental, and sexual abuse that have shocked public opinion in Canada and internationally. He was struggling to keep his 1929 Ford Model A running, while she stood beside the car with the confidence and elegance of a movie star. During the Great Depression in Los Angeles in 1933, from parts of water heaters, boiler components, and scrap materials, through the ingenuity of young people, these were transformed into diving helmets that supplied oxygen from hand-operated pumps on shore. During World War I, not only did soldiers and animals suffer the devastation of bombs, bullets, and disease, but many also faced the horrors of chlorine gas, mustard gas, and other toxic gases. Grandma Moses began her painting career around 1936, when she was about 76 years old. Throughout her life, she created more than 1,500 paintings and held over 160 exhibitions around the world. In 1960, to celebrate her 100th birthday, New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller proclaimed the occasion Grandma Moses Day in honor of her contributions to American folk art. Neville Chamberlain shakes hands with Adolf Hitler after the Munich Agreement ceded Sudetenland to Nazi Germany. Promised as peace for our time, the deal instead opened the road to war. Munich, September 1938. Peter Cushing was a legendary British actor known for his roles in horror and sci-fi films, especially with Hammer Film Productions. In Top Secret, 1984, he makes a cameo as an eccentric elderly Swedish bookstore owner in this absurd, parody-style comedy film. During World War I, studio photographers widely used cardboard props and backdrops shaped like airplanes, trains, and airships to create humorous portraits. Most soldiers pictured were German, with others from France, the United States, and Belgium, serving from WW1 through WWII. Abby Stockton was a pioneering American bodybuilder and fitness athlete in the mid-20th century. She became an icon of Muscle Beach in Santa Monica, California, and helped reshape modern views on female strength, fitness, and femininity in sports. This machine was invented by the Swedish physician Gustav Zander sometime between the 1860s and 1890s. The initial goal of these devices was to aid in physiotherapy and treat muscle and joint problems rather than simply for physical training. Switzerland around 1950, a time when traffic safety regulations were very lax. A motorcyclist carrying 2 children placed inside bags slung over his back. A fascinating moment reflecting a life fraught with danger. At the beginning of the Edwardian era, the Omni King Edward Hotel on King Street East in Toronto stood as one of Canada's most luxurious landmarks, marking the city's shift from 19th century tradition into a more modern age around 1900. In the 1950s, music lovers gathered at the HMV record store on Oxford Street in London, enjoying the latest 45 RPM vinyl singles through built-in listening booths and record players. On August 9, 1945, the atomic bomb known as Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki, Japan, devastating much of the city and killing tens of thousands of people. Just days later, Japan announced its unconditional surrender on August 15th, bringing World War II to an end and forever changing human history. A classic scene inspired by film noir, reminiscent of American cinema of the 1950s. The woman wears a meticulously tailored business suit with a knee-length skirt and tights with a seam down the back, reflecting the elegant New Look style that emphasizes a slender waist. Crown Prince Franz Ferdinand and his wife, Princess Sophie, became central figures in one of history's turning points. They were assassinated near the Latin Bridge by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serbian nationalist with ties to the Black Hand organization. The attack sparked the outbreak of World War I. Brigitte Bardot and Jean Gabin are iconic figures of French cinema in the 1950s to 60s. Love Is My Profession, a film noir, brings together 2 generations, both leaving a lasting impact on popular culture. Prior to the invention of radar, a sonar device resembling a giant ear that captured and amplified aircraft engine sounds, was widely used by the French, British, and American militaries from World War I to the beginning of World War II. During the folk revival in the United States in the mid-20th century, Lotus Dickey was often grouped with artists who helped restore and preserve American folk music before it became a commercial phenomenon. Fred Allen was a famous American comedian, actor, and radio host during the Golden Age of radio, approximately the 1930s to 1940s. Mike Wallace was a renowned American television journalist who worked on CBS's early news and documentary programs, becoming a key figure on the 60 Minutes program from 1968. World War II transformed the workforce as millions of men left home to serve in the military. Between 1940 and 1945, approximately 5 million women joined the workforce. During the apartheid period in South Africa, from 1948 to the early 1990s, racial segregation was strictly enforced in cities like Johannesburg. Public spaces such as parks, benches, and other amenities were subject to segregation. The outbreak of war and Germany's invasion of Belgium in 1914 forced hundreds of thousands of Belgians to flee their homes and lose their possessions. They escaped to Britain, France, and the Netherlands to seek safety from advancing German forces. Willi Georg, a German soldier, secretly took photographs with a Leica camera hidden under his uniform while walking through the Warsaw Ghetto in Poland. The area was used by Nazi Germany to confine Jewish people during World War II, between 1940 and 1943. The Panama Canal was one of the greatest engineering projects of its time, linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Controlled by the United States after taking over from France and Panama, it was strongly supported by William Howard Taft. It was an era of convenience, and the car telephone, a burgeoning technology, was first introduced by AT&T in St. Louis, Missouri, in June 1946. Stefan Bobrowski, known as Lionel the Lion-Faced Man from Poland, had a rare condition called hypertrichosis. Despite his unusual appearance, he was described as polite and intelligent, and became well-liked for his engaging stage performances. The horrific scars on the back of an African-American slave named Peter in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 1863, have become powerful visual evidence of the brutality of the American Civil War. The Northern Territory, still largely unspoiled and with limited transportation, relied heavily on horses for travel, transporting goods, and controlling the region. This is a piece of photo collage art, early Photoshop, that created a story about giant insects, once produced as postcards to entertain and prank tourists. Lieutenant Tom Derrick presents the Victoria Medal to Lieutenant Reg Saunders, the first Indigenous Australian to be commissioned as an officer in the Australian Army. Around the 1900s, opium use was not limited to the Chinese immigrant community, but spread to various social classes in America. The Italian-owned Dornier DoX 2 seaplane, designed by Germany's Dornier Company, was named Umberto Maddalena in 1931 to honor the famous Italian aviator known for his long-distance and rescue flights during the 1920s. Peter Freuchen was an Arctic explorer, writer, journalist, and anthropologist, famous for his adventurous voyages to Greenland. Dagmar Kohn was a fashion illustrator who married Freuchen in 1945. This shoebill stork survived the bombings of the Berlin Zoo during World War II. In 1945, as Soviet forces approached Berlin, zoo staff and local residents did everything they could to protect and care for the surviving animals. During Brazil's 1940 carnival under President Getúlio Vargas, crowds filled the streets with music, dance, and vibrant celebration. Despite global uncertainty, Carnival endured as a powerful expression of Brazilian identity, resilience, and collective joy. Larry Wayne Chaffin, a 19-year-old soldier of the 173rd Airborne Brigade, served in Vietnam in 1965 at Phuoc Vinh. His helmet inscription, "War is Hell," reflected a stark, personal view of the harsh reality and brutality of combat. Helene Mayer remained one of the Olympic mysteries. Of Jewish descent, she competed for Germany and later lost most civil rights. She became national fencing champion at 13 in 1924 and defended her title for 6 years, gaining fame and admiration across the country. Mensur fencing is a long-standing tradition from the early 1900s among student fraternities in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Not a competitive sport, its resulting facial scars were seen as badges of honor and symbols of courage in elite German society. Margaret Gorman became the first Miss America in 1921 at age 16, representing Washington, D.C. She was crowned with the Golden Mermaid tiara, marking the beginning of the Miss America tradition. The Beatles were a major cultural phenomenon of the 1960s. During this era, the band achieved unprecedented success in the UK and the United States, sparking massive public reactions and shaping global popular music and youth culture. The Ghost Army was formed by the United States during World War II in 1944. After D-Day, the unit used Hollywood-style deception with sound effects, costumes, scripts, and props to mislead Adolf Hitler about the size and location of Allied forces. Between 1940 and 1944 in occupied France, personal relationships sometimes formed between local civilians and German soldiers, occasionally leading to shared private lives. These wartime romances are explored in Intimate Occupation by Isabel Clarke and Daniel Costell, and are linked to an estimated 200,000 children born from such unions. During the peak of the Spanish flu in 1918, Americans used various measures to slow the spread of the disease. In California, authorities enforced strict rules, including the slogan, "Wear a mask or go to jail," as a strong public health response. USS Pennsylvania, BB-38, was a battleship of the United States Navy, serving in World War I around 1917 to 1918. Sailors spent long periods at sea far from home, and often found comfort and companionship in animals like dogs and cats aboard the ship. The Lido Pool at Sea Point, in Cape Town, South Africa, became a popular recreational spot for locals and tourists in 1957, becoming an iconic seaside entertainment landmark of the city. Glenville State College in Glenville, West Virginia, part of the Appalachian region in the eastern United States, once had a farm on Mineral Road that reflected rural life and agricultural work during the 1960s era. This car was unveiled at the 1956 General Motors Motorama. Designed in a jet age style, inspired by aircraft and space travel, it featured a powerful 275 horsepower Rocket 5.8 engine, reflecting futuristic mid-century automotive innovation. In the 1920s, golf became an iconic sport in California, and the job of ball boy became increasingly popular. Protective gear like the suit Mozart Johnson wore was introduced as experimental safety equipment, designed to protect workers from stray golf balls. To build a strong bond in the film Green Mansions, Hepburn brought Pippin home to care for him and treat him like a pet. In the 1980s, the epidemic had a severe impact on the LGBT community in the United States. A man holding a sign reading, "Hate begets hate," joins a protest against discrimination and the widespread fear surrounding those affected by the disease. The boy in the photo is Werfel, a 6-year-old Austrian orphan, overjoyed to receive new shoes from the American Red Cross in Vienna after World War II. The photo was taken by photographer Gerald Waller in 1946. Under the influence of apartheid policies, residents were forcibly displaced from the late 1960s to the 1970s, and District 6 in Cape Town was located in an area that was demolished and turned into vacant land. On November 11, 1918, American soldiers rode in trucks through New York City, carrying signs that read, "To hell with the Kaiser," celebrating the end of World War I and the signing of the armistice that ended the conflict. Nikola Tesla sat calmly amidst giant electrical sparks 6.6 meters high. This famous image is an advertising photograph created by Dickinson 5 Alley using the double exposure technique. From 1899 to 1900, Tesla used this laboratory to research wireless power transmission. Dick Hilburn was an American tattoo artist and vaudeville performer who rose to fame in the early 20th century for his striking tattoos and charismatic stage presence. Successful both professionally and personally, he was admired for his tireless, energetic, and dedicated work ethic. Horse-drawn carriages were still in use before complete motorization. The dump site has been identified as being near Red Cross Hospital in Cape Town, South Africa, circa 1950. The DAF Domburg diesel bus, built in the Netherlands in 1949, was one of the first buses designed with improved accessibility, making maintenance easier and more efficient for operators. After the band's breakup in early 1978, Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen moved into the Chelsea Hotel in New York. Their relationship ended tragically in October 1978, when Nancy was found dead in their room. Their story was later portrayed in the 1986 biopic Sid and Nancy. Elliot Verdon Roe was one of the pioneers of British aviation and the founder of Avro Aircraft. The Avro Mobile was a fancy personal vehicle he invented in Southampton in 1924.